Looks like Nass is ready. So let's see. Go ahead. If he said ready a while ago, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for DrKnown's debut on my stream. I've casted some. Well, I featured some of his replays from Ranked on my channel before because I really wanted to let my YouTube audience know about this guy. I know a lot of you will already know who he is, but he's a very interesting player. I'll be, just talking about DrKnown for a bit at the start of this game as an intro for him, just to get you guys up to speed if you're not sure who this guy is yet, because you definitely need to know. And then, yeah, we'll talk about Nass as well, his opponent for this. But DrKnown is a 13-year-old Saudi Arabian 1v1 main who is largely inspired by Khaled, and that is, going to be very evident by his play style in these games. I'm confident. I'm very confident of that fact. He's like one of the Middle Eastern players who's taking Khaled as his main inspiration. The others mainly look up to Ahmad. They're the two players that a lot of players look up to. You've either got the extremely mechanical high flyers who have air roll like sellotaped down on their controller so that they actually they never aerial without it. And then you have players like DrKnown who emulate that grounded style, 50-50s, mind games, positioning, pressure. He's really just taking Khaled's game and applying it to his own gameplay. Khaled's style, I should say, applying it to his own gameplay. That being said, he's emulating one of the all-time greats, but he is an underdog in this matchup because Nass, in recent times, has become one of the very best players on the European server. He is a Moroccan player, I think living in Belgium, and he plays in RLCS alongside Scrubkilla and Rixie. Sometimes, well, I know he calls himself Rai, but yeah, it's spelled R-X-I-I. Yeah, they've not had a lot of success in threes, but Nass is a very talented player. You definitely need to keep an eye out for this guy. You might see him in an RLCS event this season at some point. And he's a very smart player. I think he's going to have a good style to match up against DrKnown, to be honest, because DrKnown is very good at kind of absorbing and counter-punching against players that overcommit. And Nass isn't really known as a player who overcommits often. He's a very smart player in his own right. I think he's probably going to win this based on experience and recent form. Yeah, DrKnown's got really, really high 1v1 IQ for such a young player. To be 13 and already be thinking about the game at such a high level really shows that he's got immense potential. And it's not like his mechanics are at low level at all. He's got very, very good mechanical ability, despite the fact that he focuses primarily on positional play and mind games to get himself wins. What a challenge that is. DrKnown flies off the ceiling to float into the ball right in front of Nass. He almost gets a goal on the breakaway. DrKnown did get a touch, but double demo from Nass is going to leave it wide open. Well, he connected perfectly with that one. The timing and the lineup for this, absolutely perfect. Well done. And even if DrKnown spawns at the far side, at the other side of the box there's a chance that Nass is scoring. So, I mean, that's great coverage to demo the side that mattered. Or, try and double demo the side that actually mattered in the position. Just leave the other one to itself. Might be a fifth goal coming for Nass. He's in a great position here. DrKnown trying to pinch in defense. It's gone well, I think, compared to what you could have hoped for there after such an awkward takeoff. But Nass is just running rings around him. He's got DrKnown jumping on the spot. And yeah, DrKnown's going to need to settle down into this game. So right now, Nass is making him look second best in the IQ department. Something that DrKnown usually does very well in. The little wave dash off the kickoff there from DrKnown. I know there's been a ton of different names. Some people are calling that particular wave dash a wave land, a wave landing, a landing dash. There's so many different names for this. For me, it's a wave dash regardless. It's from the wave dash family. So I really don't know why there's been such a massive debate about what to call it. It's just a wave dash with a different setup. If somebody wave dashes off the inside of a post, if somebody wave dashes off a landing, if somebody wave dashes by single jumping into the ball, they're all wave dashes, aren't they? Or a jump, same thing. Have I done Zen versus Dark? No, I've not. I do want to get Zen on the channel soon. I asked him if he's available today, but he didn't respond. He's AFK at the moment, but he told me yesterday he'd be down to play at some point. Yeah, Batira also had a crazy result, I think it was today, beating Moxie in a 1v1 in a French streamers Showmatch. So yeah, awesome stuff from Batira as well. Lots of talent in France for 1v1, as there always has been. Now DrKnown still in touching distance for a comeback here. Goes for a 50-50. Well, that's a pretty good one. I told you he's going to be emulating Khaled. But yeah, that is something that even Khaled would have been very proud of. A very strong 50-50 challenge to score. Very smart play there because he lost control of the dribble, didn't really have many options. Great pressure by Nass here though. Boost management looking good. DrKnown not able to get the touch that he wanted. Was supposed to go past Nass. Nass just reads DrKnown perfectly again. DrKnown realizing that time's getting away from him, so he's got to make the most of every possession he gets, but Nass just completely predicted that he was going to go for a controlling touch there. Closed the distance and reacted to the ball popping up in front of him. If the ball didn't pop up in front of him there, I'm pretty sure Nass would have just played for the demo, so it's a very safe position. A different type of play there from DrKnown. You know, a lot of people might be wondering, why didn't he wave dash in that position? Or not wave dash, sorry, half flip in that position. Let's look at this again, because this is a very smart play by DrKnown. It looks like we're not going to actually get to see it again on the replay as Nass misses the boost in the corner. But yeah, he turned around and wave dashed to go in the opposite direction. Reason being, he didn't want to show Nass what he was doing until it was too late for Nass to react to. If he just half flipped, Nass would have known exactly where DrKnown is going, and he would have been able to counter it a little bit earlier. DrKnown setting up another open net shot for himself. He's within 2 here. The comeback is well and truly on, especially given the fact that he keeps getting possession after kickoffs pretty reliably. Yeah, big kickoff to the side. This one will be controlled by Nass though. The wave dash recovery. A risky play here from Nass. Decisive air dribble. It's worked out wonderfully though. DrKnown not able to get a big block on him. Fake reverse challenge there by DrKnown. Looks like Nass kind of lost vision of him just for a moment. Now he's in a great spot again. Double reset, it's in. We have a 3-goal difference. DrKnown looking to launch the ball over the top of Nass there. Didn't get a lot of distance on it. Can he win another kickoff? Nass fakes it. DrKnown shoots first time. Nass going to try and stick with this one, but he won't get there in time. That's an awkward shot to save, but Nass does well. Well, you had to wait for that to hit the bar before making his own touch on it. No, it really is last chance o'clock for DrKnown. He's not going to get that one through. Nass doing enough to hold on to this game one. Quite a comfortable win in the end, but he was the player who lost the majority of the goals in the second half of this game. So well played DrKnown to attempt to come back there. Very difficult to come back on a debut game when you're down by that much, but never gives up, this guy. Be quite used to going the distance with opponents in other show matches I've seen him play. Yeah, Nass is Scrubkiller's teammate, that's true. He is indeed. I think they've got potential, but I don't know if they're going to work as a team, because I think it was apparently Jack who said it recently, and I kind of agree with it, that if a team doesn't see, you know, early success, you don't need to see immediate success, but just early signs of promise, then it is very hard to you know, eventually get there with that team. So yeah, I find it pretty hard to see SK Gaming with their current roster doing better than, you know, making it into an EU event. I don't think they can make a top 12. You know, top 16 EU is probably their ceiling by the looks of things. But as individuals, I think they can all do better than that. I think Nass especially, very talented player. Of course, he's got to get it working in threes. Look at the use of ball cam there by Nass, just to get a bit of a different view of where DrKnown was. It's not always wrong, you know, it's one of the first things that people learn when they try to dribble in Rocket League. Is one of the first things they'll hear is, when you're dribbling, turn off ball cam, because you can see where the ball is sitting on top of your car a bit more clearly. But pros, sometimes it is advantageous, I'm sure for a lot of you guys as well, in your own games, can be advantageous to just turn on ball cam, especially if you're dribbling sideways across the pitch and the defender is between you and their goal. Get a better view of them. Ball cam on and leaning the ball on the side of the car that that your opponent is defending. So is there like, okay, you guys are talking about a pronunciation for DrKnown's name. It's pronounced DrKnown, like that. It's like an Arabic thing. It's going to be very, very difficult for the English-speaking Rocket League world to ever get on board with that one. I mean, see, the thing is with some Arabic players who, you know, for example, have a number in their name, then, you know, that immediately gets everybody asking, well, how are you supposed to pronounce that? It's got a number in the name. Obviously, you're not supposed to pronounce the entire number in like M7SN. You're not supposed to say M7SN, are you? You know, people, you know, come to that conclusion pretty naturally. But when your name is just completely put together by words that do make sense, like DrKnown, that's what people are going to call you. So I think it's also a pretty cool name, not going to lie. But yeah, it's one of those things. If people want to call him that, the true pronunciation, that's fine by me. I'll call him DrKnown, even if there is a different correct pronunciation. Better start here for DrKnown. He's flicked in his second goal here. Nass gave him a lot of space to work with on that. Not a very convincing fake challenge. Actually, two pretty unconvincing fake challenges by Nass there. He's kind of just gone full shadow defense mode there, and whenever you do that in 1v1, you're basically saying to your opponent, okay, show me what you got. I'm giving you the run up for the flick. What's it going to look like? Let's see it. And yeah, he probably regrets after seeing that it was actually a good play. DrKnown similarly giving Nass a lot of space, a lot of territory to work with, trusting that he could 50-50 the ball into the back corner, but it's gone into the bottom corner of his own net. DrKnown never corrected you. Yeah, I've said DrKnown quite a few times, and he's never said anything to me as well. But yeah, that, you know, all of that to say that if you're a player from a different culture, that you make a name with English words, and then say, oh, actually those English words are pronounced differently in whatever language the name's from, people are still going to call you by the English words in English commentary and in English forums. See it a lot actually, and I've seen it in League of Legends quite a lot in the past, because there's a lot of good Chinese and Korean players in League of Legends. They like to use usually just you know, English names, one-syllable English names, and you'll hear different pronunciations all over the world. I think that's fine. I don't think it's that important if everybody calls it the same thing. Nass is back in front. He caught DrKnown pre-jumping and sniped the shot past him. It's a big dunk by DrKnown. He's just going to flex some chain dashes and confidently score the open net. Nass looking to get the ball over the top of him there. Got completely dunked on. How do you pronounce Ruas? Well, Ruas. But if you hear it in Arabic, it's more like Ruas, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, it's an accent thing again. Yeah, the 9 is an S sound. Can DrKnown get himself back in front? He's played a much better game here. Very consistent stuff. Oh, he will now get the lead back with a beautiful reset double. Nass collecting pads. Went for an in and out save. DrKnown's gone right over the top of him. Perfect execution on that play. It's going to be, if DrKnown ever makes it to RLCS, or even if, you know, he plays in a really big, you know, ones LAN in the future or something, any kind of event with, you know, a very spammy Twitch chat, there's definitely going to be great DrKnown memes in the chat. Feel free to come up with your own right now if you want to. I'm expecting to see lots of memes about him as well. There's somebody call it doctor but not for me meme, or somebody call an ambulance but not for me. I'm expecting to see that being used a lot with this guy and other variations of this. He kind of faked a pogo there. That's really interesting to see. He could just bounce the ball into the top corner. DrKnown, Nass just watched it happen. Maybe expecting a floor pinch, maybe expecting a pogo, maybe expecting just a shot at the bottom of that bounce. DrKnown went for nothing of this sort. Just wiggling his way into advantageous position here. He wants to let the clock run down as low as possible before fully committing on this play. It's a very smart, well executed end of the game by DrKnown. He's not given any clear-cut chances to Nass, and he'll even put in a 6th goal with a confident rebound at close range. That should do it for game 2. Who is Nass? Nass is one of the top 3 Moroccan players in Rocket League, I'd say. Alongside Itachi from Carmine Corp and Drali. I think those 3, Nass, Drali, Itachi, make up your Morocco national team, if there ever is one. That's something, of course, I'd love to see in the future. Just an international Rocket League event, a real one on LAN. Oh boy, that would be something special. There's one thing to note about Rocket League players, about pro Rocket League players, is that whenever you attach the national pride to anything, it really adds a lot to an event. Just to give you guys an example, when I did the 1v1 World Cup at the end of last year, well, in December, just passed, I asked all the players that were in that event if they wanted to play it pretty much a day before we did it. And you know, so many of them said yes that I went ahead with it. And they all agreed without actually asking, like, and this is not, I'm not trying to roast pro players at all. I think it's smart of them to ask questions to tournament organizers before they play in said tournaments. And none of them asked me if there was prize money for that event. They all said, yes, I'll play. Because there was that national pride attached to the event. It was a One's World Cup for them to not just prove that they're the best in the world at 1v1, but prove that their country is the best in the world at 1v1. I think the same thing would happen if there was a threes World Cup as well. Well, it really has turned into an extremely positional, extremely tactical series, as we expected. DrKnown and Nass trying to get the better of each other. DrKnown wanting the back wall bump here, connects with it, but you've got to be careful with these when you're the boost-starved player. Nass punishes DrKnown for attempting that bump by backing him up with one shot. Now he's got a bit of space for himself to work with. Catches the ball after the bounce dribble and rolls right through DrKnown's attempted 50 in defense. A very well worked goal by Nass. The long shot there wasn't really something he expected to go in, but it didn't need to. It was just to set up the boost seal and the possession. And then the next play was not really an easy one to defend. DrKnown looking to catch Nass out early there. Nass backs off. Now charges in and successfully challenges a DrKnown bounce dribble. DrKnown didn't really have too many options in this play, and one of the advantages of the bounce dribble is that you usually, if you bounce dribble correctly, can shoot the ball at any moment on the bounce dribble, whether it's on the bounce itself or full volley. The advantage of the bounce dribble is that you can move the ball whenever you want, whenever you see the opponent moving in. The problem with that bounce dribble, the previous bounce dribble from DrKnown, is that the last touch before Nass's successful challenge, the last touch from DrKnown, was kind of straight at Nass, so he didn't really have a way to shoot the ball on target. He could only miss. Nass extending the lead now to 4. He's trying to be a bit sneaky here. Thought about bumping DrKnown on the landing. Instead, just again backs off to the corner. DrKnown now wants a wall bump off the side wall. Nass saw that one coming as well. Any tips for someone who's looking to get into Showmatch's hosting scene? Well, it's going to be pretty difficult to get the attention of players initially, because most people don't have their DMs turned on. But you can always try. You know, you can always just send a message out to players you want to feature. Say, hey, I'm new. I'm a new streamer. Want to do some show matches? Love to have you on. You know, you've just got to accept the fact that early on, you're probably not going to get a reply from the vast majority of players, and that's understandable, because they won't know you and because they probably won't in many cases even see the message. But what I would suggest is that if you can't get actual players to come on, you should cast replays. Look for replays on ballchasing.com where two top tier players run into each other in ranked multiple times and turn it into a series. If you spotted Nass and DrKnown, for example, in ranked replays of ball chasing, and you see that they've got 5 matches against each other in a row, where one of the players happens to win 3 and the other 2, and there you go, you've got a series there. You could just cast it as a series. The reason I suggest that is because I think that's going to be better content for the majority of viewers than just grabbing 2 of your viewers and casting a show match of your viewers, because it's cool for the viewers, the 2 viewers who are playing, to get casted in a show match style. But most of the other viewers will probably be more interested in watching pro play, unless you just want to mix in a real live show match with lower rated players every now and then. Of course, that can be the content in and of itself. If the show match is like a bronze level, silver level match, that's going to be good content for a different reason. It's just funny to watch for a lot of people. You got to be careful with that, though. I feel like one of the reasons, and I'm not trying to stroke my own ego here or anything, I'm just being honest with you guys, but one of the reasons I think I've had a lot of praise from my commentary, nice save, on low-rated players in particular, is because I actually enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching low-rated players play. I enjoy even matches, so if there's 2 bronze players playing, I like watching them play because it's a close match. It's competitive. I just enjoy watching competition. So one of the problems and one of the issues I see with some people when they attempt to cast low-rated players is that they almost act like they're annoyed to be there, and they think that it's cool to say things like, "Oh dear, well that's not what we want to see. I'm gonna have to turn this off if there's much more of this." And trying to identify as a professional Rocket League caster who only watches the best play is just cringe to me. Like, come on, we can all enjoy watching bronze players play against each other, silver players play against each other. So yeah, you've got to have fun with it. You've got to be positive. If you're just like roasting the players and having a bad time, that's not going to be fun to watch. Yeah, I've genuinely really enjoyed casting things like bronze player versus all-star bot in the past. That was one of my most fun show matches. Obviously wasn't pro level. Still to this day, I'd love if Psyonix would add just a more strict tournament feature in game for creators to use. The problem with the tournament feature in the game right now is that it doesn't really stop Smurfs or make any effort to stop Smurfs. Now, I don't really have a problem with Smurfs when the Smurfs are at the rank they're supposed to be at. If you've got a Smurf to play with your buddies, if you're a Grand Champ or an SSL player and you want to play with your Platinum friends, that means that you've all got Smurfs that happen to be Champ 1, because that's your average rank. You shouldn't be then queuing up in tournaments on that account and trying to play against lower rated players. That's like the negative side of Smurfing, in my opinion. But yeah, there's not really a way to filter out those players from current tournaments. Otherwise I would do bronze, silver tournaments, plat tournaments, etc. All the time, because I find them really fun to watch. I'm sure you guys would as well. Yeah, I'd like, probably the best thing for me is if I wish there was like a so Psyonix, if you're listening, please add this. I wish there was some kind of setting in tournaments, like amount of competitive games played by said account, and then you could set it to like 500 minimum. Really find players who are consistently that rank, not players who have just been yo-yoing their rank up and down every season when they're playing at their real rank, and then they're down ranking themselves and going back up again. Like it would be nice if you could say how only allow people to sign up if they have been that rank for 500 games, the last 500 games all time. Maybe that's a very high number. Maybe 100 games. Last 100 games this account has not changed rank. That would be a pretty good way to verify that it's not a Smurf who's just like bouncing around the ranks a lot. And also, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that in a tournament right now in Rocket League, if I made a tournament for bronze players, Can't unranked players queue up, or does it need to be bronze? Can I set it to bronze only? I think I can. I think I can set it to bronze only. Ooh, nice shot by Nass. He's running away with this. Maybe paying more close attention to this game now that we've reset again. The last one did get pretty one-sided towards the end. Yeah, just final thought on tournaments. The issue with them is that if I make a bronze silver only tournament, everyone who just like makes an account, throws their placement matches, you know, goes 0-10 in their placements on purpose, is going to get placed in bronze, and then they can queue up in my tournament regardless of what their real rank is. I wish I could like disable that kind of account from being able to participate, because then you would have much less incentive for players to smurf for tournaments, because there would be a massive investment to even get an account that has played enough and is allowed to participate. Love that ceiling challenge from DrKnown here. Tries to snipe the long shot. He's hit the post and it's a well-read bounce by Nass. DrKnown has to be careful not to allow Nass to open up that score gap again. He's had some decent comeback attempts. This is looking like one of the more successful ones. I don't think DrKnown has got the ability to come back from 5 against Nass right now, today. Nass is playing too well. If you can open up a score gap similar to game 3, don't see DrKnown being able to come back against it. You know, some players would, because they just have such an aggressive style that they create a plethora of chances, but DrKnown's a bit more calculated, and I think he shines when he's trying to break down his opponent bit by bit, trying to get micro advantages and turn them into bigger advantages and then eventually turn it into a goal. Nass has been a menace for him to deal with. Now he wants to double, and he'll get it, but DrKnown manages to save it. Now he's almost own goal there. He's going to get a boost stolen away. One wall dash leads into half of a clear ball. Nass is circling right now, and he's going to take the ball where DrKnown can't follow, and not high enough. DrKnown with a massive clear. And a chance on the breakaway. The ball does not bounce all that well for him though. DrKnown clatters Nass out the way, tries to flick on target, misses. He's still got plenty of time, no panic yet from DrKnown. He should be very happy that he's survived that onslaught. He's used a lot of his boost here. Tries to shoot with the pogo, and it will not work. Nass tackles him quite effortlessly and scores the third goal. That was, I think, a bit too all in there from DrKnown. Didn't have any boost left over, and it wasn't a convincing enough touch to really have any threat from that range. Flip kickoff from Nass eventually leads to a DrKnown goal. That's quite a funny phrase, isn't it? A DrKnown goal. Is that what we call own goals from DrKnown? A DrKnown goal? Has anyone ever said that before? I don't know if their casters have realized that. DrKnown goal does contain the phrase own goal. He's keeping it competitive. He's looked second best for the majority of the match, but winnable. That's what he needs to keep telling himself. No time to grab the corner boost, so he tried anyway, and he didn't get there, but Nass is hit the inside of the post, and it's bounced right back to DrKnown, who's still boost starved. Tries to bump Nass, it just gets shrugged off though. He didn't have enough momentum there to really be looking for a bump. And if the only way that this bump is going to do anything is if Nass jumps right before the contact. And he didn't, he just stayed grounded. Goes up 4-2, but yeah, for a minute there it looked like DrKnown might survive. If he just committed more for the boost and Nass misses, like he did, suddenly DrKnown would have been through on the play. Under boost for Nass at the back post. 46 in attack for DrKnown. That's a more convincing fake challenge by Nass. DrKnown still manages to come away with the ball though. Into the air he goes with the reset this time. Looks like he went for a double, and Nass easily catches the ball on the goal line. DrKnown went for the ball, got his opponent. Nass is going to get all the boost. Attempted long shot from DrKnown. Just bounces harmlessly into the back corner. Nass trying to bait him out of position here. DrKnown's got to be careful. It's been a frustrating game for him. He's not had too many opportunities to score. He cannot allow another counter-attack goal to go in, and that's looking like it might be what's coming his way. There's another air dribble from long range fails. Another air dribble where he's used a lot of his boost. I mean, look how much more boost Nass has saved. He can play out off the back of this quite easily, and he will, with a mind game, to go up 5-2. I mean, Nass is showing how it's done, really. He arrives on the goal line with 44 boosts to spare. A couple of mind games after the pogo shot hit the joint where the crossbar meets the post. But really, for me, the difference in this game has been the efficiency with the long-range air dribbles. DrKnown has gone for a couple of them, and he's used all 100 boost on the approach. If you're going to do that, you best be putting a very threatening shot on target. That's not how I would describe DrKnown's air dribbles in this game. And Nass can just win the game by dribbling the ball around in defense if he wants to, but it looks like he might try and add another goal to his tally. Oh, he went for the pogo. He's fallen completely flat on his face to that one. Let's see if DrKnown can maybe close out the game with a pogo of his own. He doesn't have a lot of boost, so I don't know how he's going to possibly pull one off. It's going to be a reset. The bump will not land in a harmless position, in a harmful position. 3-1 Nass. I think we got glimpses there of what DrKnown is capable of, but overall Nass was just too consistent, too solid, and yeah, that's why he was a favourite in this match in the first place. But GG's both players. Really appreciate them playing for us. Thanks to DrKnown for coming on. Nass as well. Last second replacement for Drally.